meteorologist told us a storm was coming and showed us the location and the time. Did anybody see that? I don't know what it is. Something about when you get older, you just like to watch the news. You like to watch the play-by-play. Let me see, where's that? What's going on? Whatever. And we were sitting there watching the news, and the meteorologist began to talk. He said, it's a warning. The next thing you know, it began to get dark outside. The wind began to whistle. My blinds began to shake. My electricity flickered. The tri-state area was under a warning for a tornado. What is a tornado? A tornado is defined as a mobile, destructive vortex of violently rotating winds having the appearance of a funnel-shaped cloud and advancing beneath a large storm. The meteorologist went on to the map and he began to show how the clouds all of a sudden began to take a hook. And that hook meant something. The hook indicated that the greater reality of a tornado was there. All of a sudden you saw him, he began to, sweat beads began to come over his head. How many of y'all know those television people, they get made up every 5 seconds. They look pretty, but they get made up. They constantly patting between it. But this man began to sweat. So it became real to him. The hook in the clouds, to me, it resembled the rod or staff. Psalms 23:4. The rod was first used as a support or weapon day. It later became the symbol of authority. Remember Moses' rod? It brought lightning in Exodus 9:23 and locusts in Exodus 10:13. It caused the Red Sea to divide in Exodus 14:16. It was used to divide the sea. Chastisement was symbolized by a rod in Psalms 89:30 through 32. Amen. The coming of Christ is preceded by a rod in Micah 5:1 through 5. Aaron's budding rod represented Christ's eternal reign in Hebrews 1 through 28. We're understanding the message within the storm. A lot of times we see stuff raging around us. And I know everybody's been saying it today. A lot of us are going through different things. If I were to ask how many going through a storm, how many would tell the truth and raise a hand? Storms are real. They're real. But we need to understand the message within the storm. We were next given instructions. They're on TV and they're trained to do this and they know all about the weather. So he began to say, go to the lowest level of your dwelling. Stay away from the windows. He suggested a basement maybe, a bathroom, or a closet. And when I heard closet, all I could think of was a prayer closet. In a time of storm, what do we want to do? We need to pray. Saints, it's praying time. There's an understanding the message within the storm. Normality came to a screeching halt. This is a day and a time where we're so busy. There's always things going on. But for thousands, there was no electricity. There was no air conditioning. There were no phones or no phone services, no cable, no distractions.
Amen. Amen.
Understanding the message within the storm. Then there was a sound. The sound of heavy rain, loud thunder, and lightning. Well, in the scripture, the abundance of rain denotes rich blessings of the Lord on his people. In Deuteronomy, 28 and 12. Thunder, there was thunder. In Palestine time, it was considered a sign of divine displeasure. 1 Samuel 12 and 17. Hebrews considered thunder to be a revelation of God's power. In Job 37, 2 through 5. It also represented God's anger and chastening, understanding the message within the storm. Lightning. Lightning is described as a visible electric discharge between rain clouds or between a rain cloud and the earth, producing a thunder clap. Scripture mentions lightning as a manifestation of God's power, symbolizing his command of the forces of nature. Job 28 and 26. In Matthew 24 and 27 and Luke 17 and 24, Jesus uses the figure of lightning to indicate the unmistakable certainty of the fact that he will come again. In Luke 10 and 18, Jesus speaks of beholding Satan falling as lightning, symbolic of a definite and terrible defeat. We're understanding the message within the storm. Next came a Selah moment as we beheld God's majesty. Me and my husband were sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, a bright red light came through the door. And it was weird. Might I say, storming outside, it's dark, and all of a sudden there's a big red light in our house. And it's flashing through the door. And it marveled me so, and I said, wait a minute, I'm thinking, well, I gotta open the door to see what's going on. Maybe something happened outside. Forget the storm, it's a red light shining in my door. So I opened the door, and it seemed surreal. And when I beheld it, the light was coming from the sky.
Amen. Amen. Yes, it was.
I don't know about anybody else in here. I only been on earth, 50-something years. And I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Amen.
And I had to take a picture. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to capture this. Because maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one saying this. Maybe it's a message for me. Okay, God, let me grab this. But I had to capture that moment. And I began to look at the colors and what they meant. Red symbolizes suffering, sin, worry, fear. Some people, they saw orange. Because I noticed when I took the picture, all of a sudden it became orange.
Amen.
That means separation, evil, human good, apostasy. It's the root. And then there was a yellow, because you mix the colors. Yellow meant life, strength, capacity for life, light, glory. There's a message within the storm. So I got that message, and I'm like, oh God. But still it wasn't all. God's majesty. I just heard all of the storm going on, the lightning and the thunder, and then all of a sudden it was beauty. Can't nobody tell me about my God, about his splendor, but yet there's messages in the storm.